Welcome back, everybody. We are back before the end of the season. There are still 3 games to go in the league, and we're back because we could win the Vanarama National League today. We are taking on Yeovil away from home. Notts County are away at 3rd place Crawley. If they do not win and we get a win, it is all over. There are 6 points between us, as you can see. And then after that, we'll have the little matter of the FA Trophy final. Let's get into it. Yes, hello, welcome to another episode of Dog Turds into the Diamonds. We are here with AFC Rushden and Diamonds, and we are 6 points clear at the top of the Vanarama National League. Now, you may think that means it's all pretty much done and dusted, but I mean, we've got 3 tough games to finish the season. Yeovil away, which is not an easy game, despite them not being in the top half of the league. They are 17th. I still don't think this is an easy game. Dagenham and Redbridge at home. They are 9th in the table. They're a bit of a bogey team for us. And then Stockport away, who are 6th. So these are 3 games that I don't think it's done and dusted. I think we could come unstuck in these. And I think it's a little bit closer than it looks. If we look at results since you were last here with us, things have gone, well, pretty well. Obviously, we took on Notts County twice in the last episode. We then beat Chelmsford 5-0 at home. They are one of the bottom teams. I can't remember if they're bottom or if they are one of the bottom teams, but they are going to be relegated this season. A really good 5-0 win. You can see Albie Becher managed to get 2 goals in this game. Bailey Kadamari, Daniel Ngoma headed in. I think that might have been his first of the season, maybe. And Jack Sparks finished things off in this game. Lovely to see Albie Becher get a couple of goals. He's actually done really well in the games he's played this season. He's played 9 in all competitions. Well, they're all in the league. He's played 9, scored 5 and an assist. He's proven to be a really good little squad option. He's not good enough to be a starter, but in this run of games, we had so much fixture congestion. We had games in hand to play. It was really tough going, and we had to rely on everybody from the squad. We then went away to Crawley. Of course, we were looking at the Crawley and Grimsby fixtures as being real key games. We went away to Crawley, and we won 2-1. And as we have done on various occasions this season, you have to say it was a little bit of a smash and grab. We were not the better team. They went ahead from a penalty in the 13th minute. Thomas Hughes equalised from the kickoff. A lovely cross from James Price to the back post, and Hughes was there to knock in. Hughes continuing his phenomenal season before James Price, our top scorer, got the winner in the second half. Yeah, we were not the better team here. We have to recognise it, but I mean, a win's a win, right? We also made a few changes to the team. I mean, in this run, we just had so many fatigued players. We couldn't put what would be my first choice 11 out 2 games running. We had to make changes every game. And with the Grimsby game coming up straight after this, I was very conscious that I didn't want to use a first 11 for Crawley and then be putting a reserve team out against Grimsby. So we made a few changes. Staunton and Sparks played in the fullback positions, and I actually rested Martinez and played Corey Roberts as a centre-back alongside Wilson, Agipong and Sheringham in the midfield, and Bailey Kadamari was playing alongside James Price up front. So, yeah, not a great performance, but somehow we just managed to dig out the result again. Then at home against Grimsby, a 0-0 draw. I was pleased with 4 points from these 2 games. 2 of the top teams, and not least because, like I say, we just had to really make changes every game. So for this one, you can see that Ngoma came in to partner Martinez in defence with Ling at right back. Sharif partnered Sheringham in the midfield. Gibbs had to be rested. Hodgin came in on the left wing, and it was Price and Duffus up front. Again, we were the better team here. We might have thought ourselves unlucky, but to be honest, we didn't really create much in the highlights. We had a 1.11 XG. I was satisfied with the result. I was satisfied to get 4 points out of these two games. We then had to go away to Kings Lynn, who, yet they are in mid-table, but last season they were the third place team in the league by the end. They were a real tough game last season, and here we just put in a really, really top performance. We made changes again. It was Roberts and Gabadebo at centre-back, Ling and Sparks at full-back, Staunton and Mikhail in midfield. We changed the midfield completely. Josh Staunton, normally our full-back, coming into the midfield, and Mikhail doing a decent enough job there. Gibbs, Hughes, and then up front it was Kadamatri and Bekja. And it was Kadamatri and Bekja that got the goals for us. We did dominate the game, we did deserve it, but we still had to dig this one out. And great to see our two backup strikers getting on the score sheet there. Kadamatri, he's done a decent job for us in on loan. I will be looking to try and keep him here for next season. 7 in 17, not too bad. I mean, he's not pulled up any trees, but he's not been terrible either. He's done a decent job as a squad player. I will look to keep him here next season for sure. Pleased with him. And Ling having a great game at right back here. 2 assists for him. Tommy Reed, during all this time, the Grimsby game meant he equalled the clean sheet record for the Vanarama National League. And so we were just waiting for another clean sheet so he could claim the record. But you can see, I mean, it was hard going just because of all this fixture congestion and the fact we could not rest, or we had to rest players rather. We had to rest players. It affected the strength of the team in each game. We had another draw here at home against Newport County, and you can see on the stats, you have to say we didn't deserve to draw. They had a 0.16 XG. Gillespie scoring an equaliser for them in the 80th minute, a drilled left foot finish from the edge of the box out on the left wing. A really good goal from Gillespie. But I thought when Kadamatri scored that we were going to get through this. Again, it was all change. Ngoma and Wilson at the back, Roberts and Tatunda at full-back, Sharif and Agyapong in the midfield. Again, Gibbs needed resting, and Price was really poor in this game. We only had 3 shots on target the entire game. James Price was another one who, every time he plays at the moment, I get told that he really needs a rest, but I just couldn't afford to leave him out. But it did affect his performances somewhat. And when we went away to Eastleigh and lost 2-0, it did kind of feel like this one was coming. We'd been shuffling the pack for a long time. We'd been rotating things around, and it did feel like we were just really slogging through the games, and that a result like this was on the horizon. I mean, we didn't play badly. We had a huge amount of possession. They did have a lot more shots than us, but the same amount on target. We had similar XG, but unfortunately Eastleigh got 2 goals and we failed to find the net. And you can see from the ratings, Gabadebo, the only player that really had a decent game. Disappointing one this, but like I say, I kind of felt like rather than it being down to us fading or not being good enough or anything like that, I really feel like it was a case of accumulated fatigue. And then we took on Cheltenham at home and we got back to winning ways. So this was much needed. Obviously, it put us with that 6-point advantage that you see in the league table now. Duffus got the goal from Hughes in the first half, and James Price really looked to have wrapped it up in the 85th minute when he fired in first time from a Cadamartri cross, before Winkler then got one straight back for them and made it a bit of a nervy finish. But as you see on the stats on the left hand side and the XG chart on the right hand side, it was well deserved. This was what I consider our first choice 11 starting the game. We went full strength. Wilson did not play well. Gibbs did not play well. The midfield was disappointing, but we got the win that we needed. And the great thing now is that we are in a spell of games where we're playing just once a week again. So hopefully that gets us over that accumulated fatigue. Hopefully after we play Yeovil, we're not going to be seeing this issue of players needing a rest, and we can just go through to the end of the season. So yeah, what have Notts County been doing? Why are we in this situation where we've got this 6-point advantage? You can see after they lost to us in the FA Trophy semi-final, they actually won 4 in a row. They were going great guns. They were hunting us down every time we dropped points. They were obviously edging closer to us. And in their last game, they drew at home against Cheltenham, which was a huge shock. Cheltenham, as I say, they are going to be relegated. And it was a late equaliser for Notts County in the 78th minute. You see there, Kelman penalty. And that was the only reason they managed to get a draw out of that game. So it could have been even worse for them. And if we look at the table, I mean, did I say Notts County played Cheltenham? It was Chelmsford they played. Yeah, so they drew with Chelmsford. They have had 10 draws, and that has been their downfall because they've only lost 3 all season. They've been the hardest team to beat. They've got the best defence, but those 10 draws have really hurt them. And I would imagine if we do tie the league up today and they don't manage to go up automatically, there's going to be big pressure on them in the playoffs because they are far and away the second best team. Be interested to see how they go against Crawley in today's game. So yeah, that's the situation we're in. We've got a 7-goal advantage on the goal difference. We've got a 6-point advantage overall. So hopefully we can get the win over Yeovil today, and if Notts County drop points, then I can relax for the rest of the season. Concentrate on that FA Trophy final against Torquay. Torquay in a real battle with Gloucester and Dagenham and Redbridge for that final playoff place, so they cannot relax at all. The other playoff positions are decided, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's all kind of come together, hasn't it? So here we go. Yeovil away and Notts County away at Crawley. Absolutely huge. If we look at that playoff fight, Torquay away at Cheltenham today, which is not an easy game. Gloucester at home against Dorking, which should be an easy game. So it could be very interesting. And Dagenham and Redbridge are also at home against Billericay, which they should win. So I think that's 7th place, and the final playoff spot is going to be very interesting to see. So let's get into this game and let's see if we can make ourselves a Football League team today. Obviously, when you do a non-league save in Football Manager, that is the first major hurdle, isn't it? Getting out of the non-league. It is so tough to get out of these non-league divisions. As we've seen, we spent 3 seasons in the Southern League. The second season, we were far and away the best team in the regional Premier divisions, but we had that playoff loss that kept us in the Southern League for a 3rd season. We've now had our first season in the Vanarama National League where we were pretty decent, to be fair, and just faded at the end and failed to make the playoffs. Last season was really was a real slog. I think if we don't get this first place here now, I think it'll be a real opportunity lost, and again there would just be no guarantees of not having to look at several seasons more in the Vanarama National League. So huge pressure. All right, we are ready to get into the game, into the tactical meeting, and so it all comes down to this. We are going to be obviously relying on Notts County's result at Crawley, but hopefully we can do our part and we can put in a good performance. We are going with what I think is our full strength team. Tommy Reed in goal, looking for that clean sheet. Corey Roberts at right back, Martinez and Wilson in the centre back positions, Tatonda at left back, Sharif, Sheringham, Liam Gibbs in the midfield, Thomas Hughes on the left, Duffus and James Price up front. You can see there's a lot of light green there on the hearts. We haven't fully recovered from our last game, but I think they're good enough to go, and we've got a lot of fresh players on the bench. Do I go Gabadebo? I think I will go Gabadebo on the bench. He and Ngoma have both performed really well when they've played this season. I'm going to stick with Gabadebo though. Sparky is our left back and left wing option. Mikhail is an option to come in on midfield or number 10. Fran Hodgin as a forward or left winger, and Kadamatri our sub striker. And the only absence is Agyapong, who is suspended for today's game. So let's submit that team. I think playing against 4-4-2, I do fancy our chances. I really hope we can get things wrapped up today. I think Crawley have got a great chance of at least getting a point against Notts County in their game. So, I mean, all we have to do is do our part, right? Let's get into the dressing room. The only tactical instructions I am going to give, as always, our second striker there is just going to go out to mark the left back without the ball. Really pleased with how this formation has really come together nicely this season. Let's stick Hughes on their right back. Aside from that, I don't have any specific marking instructions to give. I think that's why things go so well against 4-4-2 for us usually. Let's have a look. You can see we're 13th in the form table. Let's have a look. If something weird happens with goal difference, a win makes us champions. Let's go. And the players do not respond. We actually had a team meeting during the week. I was kind of trying to take the pressure off them. So I guess picking a team talk that kind of mounts the pressure probably wasn't the best idea. But we've got half decent team talk in there, and you can see I've got the results of the other games set up there. We'll see how this goes. And they get the first highlight, and Jones in acres of space. That's a little bit disappointing. And Morton Spencer, our ex-player, coming through the midfield there, almost put us 1-0 down instantly. Morton Spencer, who was a Southern League winner with us, as James Price now gets in, and he has got his 24th of the season, and right now we are doing our bit. What a great start. We could have been 1 down from Morton Spencer. But then Price on the break, the rebound from the first shot comes back to him off of Burge, and James Price tucks it away. What a start. And are the nerves going to calm a little bit as Yeovil get that ball away, but it's headed back by Martinez into Sharif. Duffus out on the right wing, great run. And then a pretty tame shot into the hands of Burge there, you have to say. But we are 1 up right now, and Notts County and Crawley are drawing. So as it stands, we would be champions. And Tatonda, what has he got? A potential foot injury. I really hope that doesn't keep him out of the FA Trophy final. That would be a real shame. Tatonda, he's 32 now. I'm debating whether I keep him on for next season, as Corey Roberts puts us 2-0 up. We are not even 20 minutes in, and we are looking really comfortable here. I think my nerves and doubts about these final 3 games of the season have all been very calmed by a really assured performance in the first few minutes here. And we are looking good for the win, but you can see Yeovil have had 7 shots at goal. They have not been dominated at all. And Crawley are now 1 up against Notts County. If it ends like that, we could actually afford to draw and we would still be champions. I do want Tommy Reid to get his clean sheet record. I would love for him to do that today. Let's praise the players. And you can see they have now had more shots than us. They have not been an easy game. I think that's really important to point out. I knew this was not going to be a walk in the park. And let's try and get the players focused for that second half now. And I think we are looking at the final days for some of these players. I think some of these players are not going to be League 2 ready. I think we are going to be wanting to make signings in the summer to just try and take the team up to another level. And we have managed to get on top in this second half, but it's Yeovil that get the first highlight. Crossed in, headed away nicely. Martinez, that is a poor pass out of defence from Martinez. As a ball-playing defender, he should be looking for a better pass than that. And now Wilson beaten by Mensah, and that is a big miss from Russell. That would have really made things very, very nervy in the second half. We've got away with one there, perhaps. But they are now on the attack again with McBride and Williams. And Russell has got away from Martinez again, and he's put another one wide. And we are living dangerously here in the second half. With 17 minutes to go, I'm going to make some changes. Martinez is shattered. I'm going to bring Gabadebo in. Russell has got away from Martinez a couple of times. I'm also going to bring in, let's have a look. I'm going to bring Mikhail in for Sheringham. Or do you know what? I'm not, because I've just remembered. Do I bring Sheringham off or Gibbs off? Do you know what? I'm gonna undo that because I've only got one change left. I want to bring Gibbs off for Mikhail. I'm going to make that change there. I want Gibbs to get a little bit of a rest. Sheringham, I can, if I have to the next game, I can leave him out, as I can with Hughes, who is also a little bit tired. But I want Gibbs to be fresh. Gibbs has actually been complaining about lack of starts recently because we've been rotating so much as Peck now puts one off the bar. And you have to say they have been much the better team in the second half. We've been kind of lucky to be still looking at this clean sheet right now. And Price almost makes it 3 there. Lovely crossover. Yeah, Gibbs has been disappointed with his lack of starts recently, and that's because we've been rotating the team so much. Gibbs has been one of the players that gets more fatigue than most. So he's been disappointed, even though he has started more than 30 games this season. So, yeah, I want him fit for the next game, as Duffus now spurns a really good chance as well. And if they've missed a few decent chances, well, you have to say Duffus has missed an absolutely great chance there. But we are going to close it out. Reid has got his clean sheet record, and we are champions. Are we why is it not saying that we're champions there? Let's have a look at that. I'm sure we are champions. We haven't had a trophy presentation on the field there, which is disappointing. But I would like to see what the final result was. Crawley against Notts County. Did they come back and I wasn't looking at it? I was kind of focused on what the time was doing, rather than looking at the other results that I specifically had on for that very reason. What happened? Crawley and Yeovil. Crawley and Notts County. Crawley did win it We are now champions. Yeah, we have won the league title. We didn't get a trophy presentation on the field, and we got no mention of it from our team talk options at the end there. So that's a little bit disappointing. I would have liked a trophy presentation, but what is important is that we have won the Vanarama National League. We are a League 2 team for next season, and when you think about how we've done it, we have undone an absolute giant here in Notts County. They are a giant at Vanarama National League level. They have got players that are earning over £2,000 a week, while we are on an £8,000 a week budget for the entire squad. We had a £2,000 a week deficit at the start of the season. We had to sell last season's player of the season, and we have still managed to overcome names like Notts County, Crawley with their cryptocurrency owners, Grimsby, Stockport, Torquay, Gloucester, who dominated the league last time they were in the Vanarama National League. We have outdone them all. We have set a new Vanarama National League record for most wins in a season, and we are up to League 2. That is absolutely phenomenal. In the next episode, I will show you some new signings we've confirmed for next season, and we will talk a little bit about how we're going to plan going forward. But we will be back. Part 2 is going to be the FA Trophy final against Torquay at Wembley Stadium. Well, just a little update before we go. On winning the league, the board have confirmed that we are going to turn professional. That is obviously fantastic. It's going to really help us kick on now, and I'm really hoping that for players like James Price, I'm hoping there's still time for him to develop his talent a little bit and really become a Football League striker. We've really suffered over the years with players really losing ability with the part-time training. Players like Liam Gibbs, James Price, even somebody like Thomas Hughes, who's done so well for us over the years. Really hopeful now that being a fully professional club for next season, we can kind of really kick on and actually help players to develop. And with some of the young players we've got, like Sheringham, Agyapong, I really hope that we can see them really start to grow with us and hopefully continue up the leagues. And if we look at budgets for next season, right now they're giving us a £12,000 a week budget, which is £4,000 above what we had for this season, which is obviously great. But I'm sure turning professional, that is going to go up. I would imagine we're going to be looking at something like a 20,000 budget maybe, which would be absolutely fantastic. Finances right now, we've got 70,000 in debt, but we've got that Wembley appearance against Torquay to come. So I'm hoping that debt will be cleared by the end of the season, and we can just really start looking up. In the end of season review, we'll talk about what the long-term plans are for the club, but I just wanted to come back and just give you a little update on that before we finish this episode, because I think that's really important. And I think really we're just leaving things there as we build up to the FA Trophy final in the best possible way. And yeah, just absolutely delighted with the way things are going. So fantastic stuff there. As I said previously, click on the link for part 2, when we will be looking at how we get on in the FA Trophy final against Torquay. See you very soon.